I'm taking the Notre Dame Fighting Irish to punch their tickets to the college football national championship game. I think they're going to beat Penn State tomorrow night in the Orange Bowl. Let's start with Penn State. Abdul Carter, their best defensive player, maybe their best player, period. It looks like he's probably going to play based off of everything that James Franklin and Tom Allen and the people at Penn State have said. Question is, like, how healthy will he be? Will he be like 80%, 90%? Who knows? They're going to need him if they want to beat Notre Dame. He's just the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, and he's just a consensus All-American. I mean, the dude's just an absolute stud, a guy who's going to be a top 10 pick in this upcoming NFL draft. It's really nice to have those guys in big games, so they definitely need him to beat Notre Dame in this offense that is going to run the crap out of the football. And I think once again, we're going to see Notre Dame in this offense that really only wants to run it, play against a really good front seven and a team that really excels at stopping the run. Penn State only gave up 3.1 yards per carry this year. So this is a really good front seven, one of the best in the country. We saw Notre Dame beat a Georgia team with a really good front seven last week, right? And it was because of Riley Leonard. He ran for like 140 yards, and that was really the only offense that Notre Dame had. And so they're going to look to do that again against a good Penn State front seven, and Penn State needs Abdul Carter to keep the Riley Leonard, Jeremiah Love run game in check, right? Abdul Carter, also their best pass rusher. Be really nice to have him on 3rd and 9. So he needs to play, but the biggest thing that Penn State needs to do in this game, if they want to win and pull off the upset, they are underdogs, is they have to stop the run. And it should be a fun thing to watch because, as I've already mentioned, Notre Dame excels at running the football, and Penn State excels at stopping the run. And, I mean, look, did you watch Notre Dame play Georgia? Have you watched Notre Dame play at all this year? They don't want to throw the football. Like, they want to run it. Riley Leonard has 0 games this year where he's thrown for 250 yards, which is not that many in the world of college football. They want to run the ball. Okay? And I think this game's going to look a lot like what it did against Georgia. Notre Dame's going to struggle to throw it. I think the receivers are going to struggle to separate. They only threw for 90 yards against Georgia. I don't think the total is going to be quite that low. But this Penn State secondary is really good. 18 interceptions on the year. They've given up 17 touchdown passes, which is crazy how they have more interceptions than they do touchdown passes allowed. They're giving up less than 200 passing yards per game. They're at around 185. I think this is going to be another game from Notre Dame where they really struggle to move the football consistently like they did against Georgia. Okay, they are going to need big plays from their defense and from their special teams in order to have a chance to put up points, much like we saw against Georgia, right? The turnover inside their own 10, one play touchdown pass. The kickoff return for a touchdown, right? That put another 7 points up on the board. They are going to need things like that in this game if they are going to win, because I just don't know if they're going to be able to consistently move the football up and down the field against what is a very stout Penn State defense. Now, look, I'm taking Notre Dame, as I said, so I do think that they're going to make those 1 or 2 big plays on defense and special teams to give their offense an opportunity to score points. And look, my faith is in this Notre Dame defense. It has been incredible all year long. I expect this game to be a low-scoring slugfest. Notre Dame, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, hold on to the football for most of the game. Just a lot of what they did against Georgia. And, Penn State is, I think, a better offense than Notre Dame. But look, once again, this Notre Dame defense is incredibly stout, and they're going to keep Notre Dame in this game, and they're probably going to be why Notre Dame wins. Okay, now Penn State's slightly more dynamic on offense than Notre Dame is. Better at receiver. Drew Aller is a much better passer of the football than Riley Leonard. I trust Drew Aller more than I trust Riley Leonard. Penn State, much like Notre Dame, has multiple running backs who can really make an impact. Like, this Penn State offense is good, but it's not good enough to expose this Notre Dame defense. It's not quite to that level. I expect this game to be a low-scoring, absolute slugfest. Okay, coming from both sides, because both these teams have good defenses. And ultimately, why I'm picking Notre Dame is because when you look at the Final Four teams, their special teams unit is better than anybody else. Okay, their kicker, he's healthy. He's, I don't think he's missed in the college football playoff so far. That they do funky things on punt returns and they block punts, and they're just really good on special teams. They're amazing on defense, and I just don't think that James Franklin is going to make some sort of mistake that costs Penn State. Marcus Freeman proved last week that he can win big games by beating a good, well-coached Georgia team. So really, I'm taking Notre Dame just because I trust Marcus Freeman more than I trust James Franklin, which I think is really hard to argue with because I think that everyone that's not a Penn State fan at this point trusts Marcus Freeman more than they trust James Franklin. So give me the Fighting Irish to beat Penn State. I'll be back again with another video tomorrow discussing the Texas and Ohio State matchup, and I will talk to you then.